This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the best online retailer for Magic the Gathering singles and sealed product. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 source for Magic the Gathering news and content.
Hey guys, Marshall here from Limited Resources, doing another draft here on GatheringMagic.com, and ooh, yes sir, we have opened a doozy here in Cube, as you can see. We're kind of in that no man's land between when the new set comes out in paper, and so they usually throw Cube at us during that stretch, and we've got a nice pack here. I really like Oracle of Moldiah a lot as well, but come on. What do we have here? A bunch of decent stuff, to be honest. There's a Coalition Relic if we just want to go big. The deck that one of the decks I really like is the blue-black sort of tempo aggro deck, which Jace fits just fine in, thank you very much. And that gives us a Specter, an Augur, even a Swords of Plowshares goes fine with Jace if we want to go that route. But I'm going to take Animate Dead here, I think. And the reason, I think the pick for me is between these two cards, Coalition Relic or Animate Dead, I think with a healthy nod to Swords to Plowshares. But I think Animate Dead wins, and it wins on a few levels. First things first, it's the most powerful card here, I think. It just has the highest upside. It goes fine with Jace, and that blue-black go nicely together, generally speaking, in the cube. And it's also just cheap, and it can go into multiple decks. This is a type of card that you can use to get back your fatty. I'm going to take a Grave Titan here. Or you can just use it for value. You just kill one of their guys with some black removal spell or whatever, and then or block it or whatever it is, and then you get a creature back. And that can just be really good. And we're talking about Cube here. In Cube, every creature has an enter the battlefield effect of some sort. I mean, they all do something. So getting them back from the yard can be a big game. This pack is really interesting because there's a Necromancy, a Frost Titan, and a Grave Titan. And Frost and Grave Titan are pretty close on power level. I prefer Grave Titan a little bit more than Frost, but I think that, you know, either one I'd be happy with here. If I misclicked and picked Titan, Frost Titan, I'd be fine. The question is, do we want a fatty or do we want a Necromancy? And I personally value the Titans very, very highly in Cube. And the reason that I do that, they can be reanimated. Like throwing an Animate Dead on a Grave Titan or a Frost Titan is fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that. You're going to be very happy doing that. But it's also only 6 mana. I mean, you play one ramp artifact of any sort, you know, some random whatever, and boom, you have a turn 5 Grave Titan, which just shores up the ground game, makes life hell for your opponent, has a really fast clock, it's tough to deal with. You can just cast it. And I love the Titans for that because they make this beautiful middle ground where a lot of cards aren't. I'm going to take the Avenger here. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind just sort of sticking on color and just doing whatever. Graveborn Muse is fine, but we can pick it up a lot later. And Avenger's very, very powerful. So I'm pretty happy to just take Avenger here. Out of this pack, I think we want Pentad Prism. Not a great card, but it does get you sort of to that upper level pretty quickly. If we didn't take that, we would take, you know, some dual land, like maybe this one. This one, you know, Crumbling Necropolis is both blue and black for our base colors here. Potentially, maybe our base colors. But it also taps for red, you know, for a splash or something like that. But I think we just want the ramp spell here, so we're going to take that. Ooh, I like this pack. I'm going to take Vendilion Clique out of this pack, but Shadow Mage Infiltrator is right up there for me as well. I think that card's excellent. But I do think that Clique is a little bit better of a card overall, so we'll take it here. It's also just one of my favorite creatures of all time. It's not my favorite creature of all time. Hopefully we'll pick one of those up at some point as well. But it is up there on the list. All right, here's some good stuff. There's a Nicol Bolas. I don't know if we cast a Nicol Bolas or not. We could also just take a Nightveil Specter, which looks like it's going to be pretty castable for us, depending on where this ends up going. Maybe I'll just do that. I actually like Nightveil Specter quite a bit. Let's give it a shot. I played it in the last cube when it first made it in, and I actually found it quite good. Ugh, red. But I'm going to take Steam Vents here pretty easily, I think. I'm just going to take Yavimaya Coast. I don't want these white cards. Knight of Infamy is pretty good, but Coast gives us potential outs to actually play our Avenger, maybe. I think I just want All Is Dust. Firebolt's pretty unexciting. I'm really not a huge fan of the bounce lands in this cube. Not that they're unplayable, I just don't really like them. Take a Syrian Blood. Yeah. Oh, Graveborn Muse came back too, though. I think I better take that. It's a nice little card advantage engine there. Thing can kind of take over the middle part of the game if they let it go too long. Alright, well, we got this Crumbling Necropolis back anyway. And a couple of random white cards here. Neither of them particularly worrisome. I like the way this has started. Our power level's very, very high. Grave Titan, Jace, Animate Dead sort of highlighting everything for us here. And then, you know, we've got the potential to go big here as well. We'll see how where this takes us. Let's see what we get. All right. Well, there's a few possibilities here. There's Skullclamp, which is just sort of generally quite good. There's Show and Tell, which is obviously very powerful. We don't really, I mean, we're doing some things with it, but like a really early Avenger isn't fantastic. It's good, but it's not fantastic. A really early Grave Titan is fantastic. But there's Skullclamp, Show and Tell, and then there's a few other choices. There's like a Verdant Catacombs, you know, which sort of draws my eye a little bit. I mean, I like Huntmaster quite a bit, and we've got 2 red sources that are free-ish right now, so I think Huntmaster can make the cut, but I'll just take the Skullclamp here and kind of just keep it simple, and we're immediately rewarded in one of the best ways possible. Bitterblossom, which is great on its own and obviously fantastic with Skullclamp because you can just use it to keep drawing stuff. Warm Power Stone would probably make the cut in this deck as well, but I'm not going to pass a Bitterblossom here, not after just picking a Skullclamp. Depth Seas, Tidings, Banchar, Price, Jushi, Detention Sphere. We have no white sources yet, so I think that's going to be off the table. We're looking really just blue-black. I mean, Avenger's sort of hanging out here, but we haven't really found much to go along with it yet. I feel like with Jace and Graveborn Muse, Tidings is not super powerful. Tangle Wire can be really good. I think I'm going to take the Tangle Wire here. Nothing really great for us in that pack. Ooh, hello. Jeez. I'm going to take Consecrated Sphinx, but man, Grim Monolith sure is tempting as well. Card is just so rawly powerful, but Consecrated Sphinx is a great reanimation target, and it's just a great spell to cast. It sort of fits that similar mold that I said for the Titans. It's that 6 mana slot is right where you want to be as far as castability, but still worth it to reanimate. Gotta love it when the cubes here. These are so much fun. All right, Savage Lands or Shriekmaw are the 2 cards I'm really looking at. Bad River's a possibility. Luterial Core actually also a possibility because we could use a discard outlet, but I'm going to take Shriekmaw here. I think Shriekmaw is the most powerful card there, and you do want to have removal, and when it happens to be in the form of things that you maybe can reanimate or or just cast, you're usually pretty happy about it. All right, what do we get? Kind of a sweet reanimation target, but with only 1 reanimation spell in the deck right now, I don't think we can commit that hard. So we're looking at these type of cards, maybe Apocryphite. Putrid Imp's interesting. It's a discard outlet. It's not a great card, though. Duress is pretty good. Yeah, let's take a Duress here, I guess. I think Duress is like a little underrated in the cube. It's pretty good. I mean, almost every deck plays something you can hit with it, and it hits random stuff like equipment and just stuff that you wouldn't expect necessarily. Progenitus, kind of interesting, but not really what we want to be doing here. Sorin's Thirst Lacerator or Black Sun's Zenith. I'm going to take the Zenith. I like having the ability to sweep away the super fast decks. The really cheap 1-drop style decks, you can kind of just get them. Yeah, I think I just like a Chainer's Edict here. I just like that card in general. Huntmaster came back, but still doesn't look like our mana is really there for it. I mean, the red is pretty easy for us, but the green is not. Like, it's looking like this is just going to be gone. So that leaves us with Sulphur Springs or Visara. I'll take the Springs. I'm not a big fan of Visara. I think it's fine, but not great. Pretty happy to pick up this Slaughter Pact here, though. That card makes the cut a large portion of the time. Very efficient. Sure. Still sure. Okay. This pack ended up okay for us. Not nearly as good as the first one, though. We've got some work to do here. Alright, what did we get? What did we get? Tamiyo. That's a good one. There's also a Scalding Tarn, which can get Steam Vents. Though our mana looks pretty straightforward here. I'm not really worried about that. Sphere of the Suns is interesting. Damnation could be quite good. I'm going to take Tamiyo here, though. I like that card a lot. There's a Glen Elendra Archmage, which I think is one of the better 4-drops in the cube, period. There's Sakashima Student, which I just personally love. I think it's pretty good. It's not great in a deck like this. It's good, though. Still a clone. Bone Shredder is just generally good. Sunken Ruins would be fine in the deck. I mean, not super necessary, but nice to have. And Gilded Lotus, I think, is just, like, very, very powerful. Though, I don't know, turn 5 Gilded Lotus, like, where are we going with that? I just don't know that we're going anywhere, like, super impressive. I'm going to take the Archmage here. Card's super annoying to play against, too. Looks like we're being summarily punished here, as Tainted Pact is not that great. And Wooded Foothills get anything? I guess it can get Steam Vents. Sure. Not much here for us, unfortunately. Vampire Hexmage is unexciting. Probably just going to drift on some moles here. Yeah, that seems good. Terminate's a card we wouldn't mind having around, but we don't really need a dedicated pick this early to it. And I like just having the card draw and then the body from a Mulldrifter. These packs have been a little dry for us, and we're probably just going to take an attrition here, which can be good in our deck, but generally isn't. You can see what it does. I mean, if you get it going with Bitterblossom, you can just start mowing down their team, but we just only have 8 creatures right now, and I just don't really think we have enough. All right. Well, it looks like we've bumped into other people playing our colors pretty hard. As you can see, the last few packs haven't really delivered much for us. Time Spiral's interesting. Yeah, we'll go for that. I don't really play that card that much, but maybe we'll end up running it. We're actually short on playables as it sits. Counterspell or Gift Demon. I'm going to take Counterspell. It's a little awkward on our mana, but it's not that big of a deal. And we do want something to do to protect ourselves. And it kind of continues here. I mean, these cards just are very unexciting for us. Grolf's Messenger's like whatever. Wrenchmine is, I think, the card that we want here, but ugh. Palancron. I could even take a Devil's Play. We couldn't really flash it back, but I can certainly cast it. Maybe I just want a Grim Lavamancer for that kind of thing. Nah, I don't think I'm dumping enough stuff in the yard for that. I'll take the Palancron. I have a little bit of green, right? Right here. I guess I'll just take the Carnophage. Maybe I'll even end up running those just as early game plays. This deck isn't really the deck that I like to draft. This is a much more control-y, sort of slower version, but I've seen worse. Still nothing. Sweet. We don't have to play against some jerk playing mono red. Not that I blame them, but... Calciderm, much more annoying than stupid Savannah Lions. Alright, let's see what we ended up with here. Our last pick, Willbender, probably making the cut here. All right, let's see what Talrand's doing first. Let's see. One of those. Here's one. One, two, three, four, five. Nope, I don't think that Talrand's doing quite enough, so let's just jam a couple of these. I think I want to main deck a Duress just because Mize. And then... which one of these is worse? I guess this one. Or I mean better. Alright, so Depths, sure. Steam Vents, do we need this at all? Does Steam Vents do anything? No, 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 no. No, we're not actually splashing red at all, are we? So we don't need Steam Vents. We can use Crumbling. We don't need that. We don't need that. This searches for nothing. This doesn't do anything. So yeah, we just kind of didn't get any fixing, which is a little awkward. I mean, we have a little bit, but it shouldn't matter too much. Like Nightveil Specter is colorless in our deck. These are the sort of issues that we'll have, but I don't anticipate them being a big deal. 8-7? Don't know if that's right. Maybe it is. I only really need one black mana to go off here. Yeah, that seems fine. And remember, this makes black, so. Okay, let's see if our blue-black control list can get there.